Hello, greetings, and welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Lear. I'm an original content provider with ValorTube.com. Some of you guys may know me as PaulthePoke from PaulthePoke.com. And as part of ValorTube, proud to be an original content provider, and I'd like to welcome everybody to This Week in Prophecy. And this week, the focus is on the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Bible refers to what we know as Iran as Persia or Elam, Elam. That'd be the southwest part of Iran, of what is modern day Iran. And the fine folks at the Islamic Republic of Iran have elected a new president. And we got the picture of the new president elect. His name is Ebrahim Raisi. And so I thought, a variety of these pictures and just the titles of the articles pretty well describe who this guy is. Ultra conservative cleric, Ebrahim Raisi, Islamic hardliner, Iran elects hardliner as nuclear talks continue. So you're probably asking, well, who is this guy? And we'll go to the Sun out of the UK. They take a pretty fresh look at this guy, and here's the name of the article: Beast in the Middle East. I mean, so as soon as you see that ought to jump out at you from a prophetic standpoint. They refer to him as the Beast. Iran elects new president Ebrahim the Butcher Raisi, who had pregnant women tortured and ordered vile mass executions. And by the way, he's got the little pink dot or pink ink blot on his finger. It's official. He voted. So make sure nobody votes twice over there in Iran. Won by a landslide. Some of the other competitors dropped out as the week before the election was completed. He's going to take power next month. Iran's president is the second highest ranking official in the country, second only to the Ayatollah. And that's Ayatollah Khamenei. And some people think that the Ayatollah is grooming Raisi to be the next Ayatollah. So we'll see. I don't know. But anyhow, he has been elected. Just to give you a little bit of what this guy's all about. He has allegedly, I love this, he's allegedly ordered the torture of pregnant women. He's had prisoners thrown off cliffs. Gay people thrown off buildings, flogged people with electric cords, and overseen countless other brutal acts of violence. He was the head of Iran's judiciary, so some people would say he would be like the chief justice of the Supreme Court or president of the Iranian Supreme Court. And again, he has earned the nickname as the Butcher. Some people also call him the Iranian executioner. Mass execution of political prisoners. Upwards of 30,000 men, women, and children held in prisons. Again, mass executions. And currently, Iran carries out about 250 executions a year. And according to the Sun, that's second only to China. So China executes more people than Iran. Amnesty International thinks that this guy should be investigated or tried for crimes against humanity. And take a look at some of the things that go on. And he was part of, he's a member of the prosecution committee, or some people refer to them as the death commission. Hanging is a common punishment. So these are some of the things he oversaw as a member of the death commission or the prosecution committee. So they hang people. Here we have a man having his fingers removed by a guillotine. Probably stole something, so let's chop off some fingers. Flogging is also common. Check this picture out. There's some humanity there. We've got a rug or something over the tree so he doesn't have any of that bark rub up against his chest as he's being flogged with some sort of belt or leather strip. Again, 250. And then some of these people, tortured, hanging from a crane, um, stonings, beheadings. I mean, this is rough stuff. And we got people on the left here, politically on the left, who think some of the things we do are out of line. It's like, take a look at what's going on in other parts of the world. And if you don't respect your freedom, this is coming. And I know that seems, oh, you're just being over the top, but it just keeps happening little by little, step by step. And here this guy, Mahmoud Raisi, Raisi used to beat prisoners with an electric cable, beating on the soles of his feet, tried to count but the pain, just couldn't keep up with it. Signed off on a religious sentence to have somebody thrown off of a cliff. So, I mean, this guy's in charge over there. He's the president. That's what we got to look forward to. Which, and some people are questioning the validity of the elections. It's like, well, this is who the Ayatollah wants to win, and this is who all the mullahs want to win. And some concerns of election security being brought into question. And nothing says election security like some zip ties on some plastic buckets. I mean, holy cow, that looks pretty secure to me. Cut a little hole in it and slide your piece of paper in. That looks pretty official. I don't see how anything could possibly go wrong there. But that's that's the backdrop and of things happening in Iran. And to me, this was the interesting one. Well, there were many interesting things, but this article, this is out of Israel of all places. And this one kind of brings prophecy into focus. I mean, especially Ezekiel 38. And those who are not familiar with the Ezekiel 38-39 prophecy, it talks of a time when what is modern day Russia, Turkey, and Iran are going to come together. Also, probably going to have some help from the south, arguably Libya, Sudan, maybe Ethiopia, and they're going to invade Israel. And here they all are congratulating the new president of Iran, Ebrahim Raisi. And there they are. Russia, Syria, Turkey, and Hamas congratulate Iran's Raisi on election win. The gang is together, if you will. And, here's Putin, embassy, the Russian embassy. We respect the choice of the Iranian people. We are ready to consistently strengthen cooperation with the Islamic Republic in all directions, as we did under previous Iranian presidents. Assad expressed on behalf of the Syrian people and on his own behalf heartfelt congratulations to the Iranian president on winning the presidential election. And he's going over there. Assad's going over to Tehran at some point here in the near future. Also, we have not necessarily mentioned prophetically in the Bible, but you have the Anadolu Agency. Now, that's Turkish press, and that is prophetic in regards to Turkey being in the headlines. But Pakistan's Prime Minister Khan congratulated Raisi on a landmark victory. Also, and then here we have Erdogan. Turkey's President Recep Erdogan congratulates Iran's new president-elect, wishes prosperity to the Iranian public. Erdogan said pleased to be visiting Iran for upcoming term meeting of the High-Level Cooperation Council after overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic. I guess they've whipped that over there in Turkey. Maybe we should consult Erdogan instead of Fauci in regards to how to manage COVID-19. They seem to have that under control over there in Turkey. So Erdogan has some answers on that front. But at any rate, he's going to visit with the new president of Iran, which is kind of interesting because Erdogan sees himself as the kind of the main man of the Muslim Brotherhood branch, the Sunni branch of Islam. And the Islamic Republic, Ebrahim Raisi, would be like second in command of the Shia branch. So I was talking with Checkmate on ValorTube. And by the way, if you guys want to take a deeper dive into some of the political issues taking place in the Middle East, specifically countries of significant prophetic implications, check out Checkmate. I mean, he has broken down Turkey. He's broken down Iran and their proxies. This guy knows his stuff in the Middle East and the the political implications of what's taken place in the Middle East. He's highly valuable as far as the information he's putting out there. Great stuff. And if you want to really know what's going on in the Middle East, I couldn't recommend you check him out and check out his posts at Checkmate on ValorTube. But back to this fine group of folks over there in the Middle East that are all getting together. You've got the big three together. You got Russia, which is ancient Magog, who will be headed up by Gog. Who knows who Gog is? Some people think it may be Putin. It may be. I don't know. Maybe yet future. Just depends on where we are in this thing. Also, you have Erdogan in Turkey, and now we have Raisi, second in command, only behind the Ayatollah in Iran. And again, a lot of people think he's a protege of the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So we may be seeing more of this guy in the near future. He's 60 years old, so it would appear he has some time to do some things, if you will. So, we have that, and then we had this happen today on Sunday. Iran shuts down nuclear plant for technical overhaul. And this is out of DW News out of Germany. The reason for the emergency shutdown of Iran's only nuclear plant was not immediately clear. And the closure will last for 3 to 4 days. I did see one source indicated they thought it might be due to, quote, electrical problems. Now, they had some, quote, electrical problems at some other places that managed to blow up and explode. Maybe they caught something this time to keep this from blowing up. But officials not sure why the Bashir nuclear plant was shut down in an emergency. It's going to last up to 3 to 4 days, and officials have warned of possible power outages. I'm sure it'll be nice and warm over there in Iran. Not a good situation for lights and air conditioning if you don't have any power. Could be a little warm. And then you also got this taking place in north of Israel on the northern border, the northwest border, and that would be the country of Lebanon. And Lebanon is in the midst of a mess. I mean, they are in the middle of economic collapse. Their currency has lost 90% against the dollar in the last year. So hyperinflation is settling in. And the problem gets to be is ever since the explosion of the plant, the grain plant in the bay about a year or so ago, the government has just collapsed and nobody's really stepped in to take a leadership role. A lot of the leaders of the government at that time just quit and walked out and left the country leaderless. And nobody's really filled that vacuum at this point, except for arguably Hezbollah. And that's where this, again comes into prophetic implications. Excuse me. Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. And it's estimated that Hezbollah has made close to $700 million on oil and fuel smuggling that they are bringing in from Iran. And at this point, they're running out of oil and gas. They can't put enough in there. You're seeing riots at gas stations, people shooting guns at gas stations, setting other cars on fire for just basic provisions. So just take a look at some of these headlines Just typed up Lebanon economic crisis. Lebanon army appeals for aid as economic crisis leaves soldiers hungry. So the legitimate military force of the country is having a hard time keeping their soldiers fed. Down here, economic crisis. This is out of Al Jazeera. Lebanese can't even afford manuka, which effectively is like a pizza. It's just baked bread, and it's got some cheese on it, and they eat that. Things are breaking down. Farmers are struggling amid toughening economic crisis, and the bottom line is their currency's being devalued. Basic goods, basic provisions are just exploding in price. And some people estimate this to be one of the world's worst economic collapses, financial crises in the last 150 years, 160 years. That's per the World Bank. ABC News is reporting on that. So there are lots of things taking place this week in the Middle East that have ties to what the Bible refers to as Persia or Elam. Things going on in and around the Islamic Republic of what we know as Iran here in the 21st century. And so we are literally watching the world change before our eyes right now. We have new leadership in the world. We've got three big players that are going to have implications on the world. Again, Iran has just elected a new president, Ebrahim Raisi. Naftali Bennett is now leading a fractured coalition in Israel as the prime minister. And we have U.S. President Joe Biden, who's new to the job. And, in the backdrop of all of this, Biden, by all intensive purposes, is looking to get the United States back into the Iranian nuclear deal. And that seems to be something that's going to happen, essentially follow along with what Obama had done and get the United States back in. So much so to the fact that on the way out the door, previous Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, made comments the United States coming back in was just a foregone conclusion. And his concern is with the new government, led by Bennett, Prime Minister Bennett, have the backbone to stand up to Israel and have the courage to go complete operations to keep Iran from becoming a nuclear power and gaining nuclear weapons. So that day seems to be coming closer, and Iran allegedly has elected, or at least a new hardline leader is going to be in play. So, again, just another step of the Ezekiel 38-39 scenario that talks about Russia and friends, Iran being one of them, that will join together to invade Israel from the north. Now, they're going to get it handed to them. God's going to step in, intervene, and show everybody who's boss. But in the meantime, the world's a very dangerous place, and things continue to escalate. And we'll keep our eye on it. So I appreciate everybody following along. Highly recommend checking out valortube.com. Check out the original content providers. Had a chance to meet some of these folks. Personally had a chance to visit with Checkmate on several occasions and complete some communications back and forth with him. Highly recommend his information. Can't recommend it enough. Good stuff. You really want to know what's going on from a geopolitical standpoint in the Middle East, check it out. So appreciate you guys following along. Wish you the best. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye.